Welcome back to Currently Right Now, Wife, Mom Me. This is your host, Ariane Mayweather. And after the last episode of The Toxic Twirl, I thought it'd only be right that we segue into what can happen if you procreate with the toxic twirl. And I know we all have seen or heard or know someone, or maybe you are that person who's just bitter. You're a bitter Betty, you're a bitter Bob, and you know, you have possibly procreated with the toxic twirl. There are children now involved in this toxic hot mess, and you thought it'd be okay to go ahead and marry them and have kids with them. And now you've got a bitter baby mama, or ex-husbands can be bitter baby mamas too. Now, I know what you all are thinking. I thought you didn't bash men and all that lovely jazz. I don't. But it is only right to call a spade a spade. And when you see something, you say something. Like, let's just call it what it is. I procreated. I married a bitter baby mama. My ex-husband is a bitter baby mama, and he does these awful things. But all this is my fault, because if it wasn't 80,000 red flags on the plate and I just kept walking, I'm literally in the Red Sea, swimming for my life. And I thought, I'll just hang out here. This is what I'm gonna do. So this episode of ex-husbands can be bitter baby mamas too, because they most definitely can. And you know what? I say this all the time to my husband now, and I say to him, I just don't ever understand the women who have awesome dads in their lives, whether they're married to them or not. If their children have awesome dads and they're being the biggest see you next Tuesdays, and you are acting like whatever is happening in your world or whatever it is you're doing, you're being a effing B, and you have a man, maybe y'all are not together, but he's being the best father to his kids. And the problem is you're being a bitter bitch because he don't want you. Or you said, I didn't want to have this baby, and you had it anyways, and you weren't in love with the person, and that happens too. But that don't mean you get to be a bitter bitch to somebody who isn't causing you anguish, pain, or strife. What I find is about those women who are the bitter baby mamas, what tends to happen is you wanted that man, he didn't want you. You said, fuck it, let's have the baby. Y'all didn't have a baby together, and you thought that that was going to keep him. And my mother has a saying, don't know baby, keep a man. And I mean, anybody knows that. Any race, culture, you know that a baby don't keep a man. It's cool if the dude tries to hang it out, thug it out with you a little bit, and make it work for the baby. But that in itself can be a bit toxic, especially if there's no love in the home. But what I am talking about is those baby mamas who are just so friggin' mad because the man don't want them, and then they just start terrorizing. They are literally terrorists. They're terrorizing the children, planting seeds in the children's head against the dude who is an awesome dad. And I always tell my husband, I think women who have good baby fathers, good men who are good fathers to their children, and they're fucking bitches, I think they need to go home with my ex-husband. I think it should be kind of like, when you're in high school and you did child development and they sit you home with a baby for the weekend, and then they, on Monday, when you bring the baby back, they're like, let's see how many times you neglected your baby. I think they need to be sent home with baby daddies, preferably one like my ex-husband. You get to experience him for a season, and the season I'm talking about is a season where you really need your child's father to come in clutch. Like, this kid is in sports, this kid is doing things, any and everything is happening where you need this man to be present in y'all's life so that he could do his co-parenting part. And he don't show up, not monetarily, not mentally, not emotionally, not physically. You just not there. But on the other side of you not being there, you are trashing the good woman that is raising your kids. And she's not even trashing you. That's the cold part about it. But I mentioned this to my husband this morning. Um, we had an incident, or have been having incidents with my ex-husband. And, unbeknownst to him, he has been coming in clutch with his fucked up baby daddy ways. And what he thought he was doing, he was only making things worse for himself. We had an incident where, for a little bit of background, I know we came off the toxic twirl, and I'm not sure if I stated it. My ex-husband and I were together for 15 years. We were together longer than we were married. So if that is not a tale of the most dysfunctional, how y'all get together, matrimony in itself. And we got divorced in 2015. Through that, he was very reluctant on doing his part because he was mad at me, just simply that. And the thing that bothers me about that is, you act like, not you all, him, he acts like I just woke up one day and was like, I'm fucking unhappy, I want a divorce. I know there are women out there like that. I don't roll like that. But you brought us here, sir. So here we are. I'm giving you what you want. And I used to say to him all the time, everybody isn't meant for marriage. Like, it's okay. I can tell this ain't it for you. You don't like this. You don't like being committed to one person. You don't like keeping your D to yourself. You are unhappy here. You're so unhappy. You're making me unhappy. So let me help you out so I can help us out. So therefore I can help me out. Let me set you free so you could be the best version of you. And all I need you to do is just show up for these motherfucking kids. Now, you think that was a tall glass of water I ordered, right? No. This is simple. This is, you be the father you wish you had. Be the father you wish you had. Be that man for your daughters, because one day they're going to grow up, and the goal is for them to, if they ever encounter a you, they know how to definitely bypass the red flag. But we have an issue here when you have someone who is delusional and angry and bitter when they are the cause of their own demise. And when I was talking to my husband this morning, we were discussing an incident that has been taking place. So here's part of the bitter ex-husbands can be bitter baby mamas too. I didn't own this. So unbeknownst to me, back since 2020, let me back this up, and I apologize, you guys. I'm tired, I'm upset, but at the same time, God is good and God is within me, and I'm gonna make it do what it do as usual. And I have an awesome husband. But the past few months, one of my daughters have been coming to me telling me that my ex-husband had been saying to her, oh, I don't think you're my daughter, I want a DNA test. Now, I don't play them kind of reindeer games. To where it could be on some like, oh, I don't know who my baby father is. I don't play those games at all. Never, never, never. I am the moment we meet, we dating, I'm your wife. Like, it is what it is. I'm not kicking it with two people at one time. So you're projecting on me because that's what you did to me. But the cold part is, you're not even projecting onto me. You're doing it to our daughter. Why are you being a bully? So you're mad at me because you can't say nothing to me because I don't answer the phone for you no more. Ever. I haven't since 2019. And I meant it when I said it. I'm not bringing up 2015, 2002, 2005, 2008, 2010, 2015 conversations in 2019 moving forward. Like, we're done. The divorce has been done. I'm not discussing it. And he used to get a rise out of me because I used to attend every argument he would invite me to. Like, you're not going to just say nothing to me, but he's a narcissist. So he needs that attention, and I would give it to him. So fast forward, we're divorced 2015. He could have asked for a DNA test. He didn't. We went to mediation. We got divorced. He could have asked for all that. Would have gave it to him for free. And I am very, how can I say, I'm not guilty of nothing. I don't have nothing to hide. Motherfucker, you want a DNA test? You can get it whenever you want. How about you can get them all three of them if you ever feel away? But the thing is, you know better than that. And I'm really sick of people with not understanding DNA. Like, does everybody need to be shipped back to an 11th grade biology classroom? Just because one child may look exactly like you doesn't mean the other ones are going to come out looking like you. One of our daughters looks exactly like him. The other one looks like me, but the other one, all my girls by him resemble him and his brothers. It is creepy crazy. That's how much I couldn't stand him. I gave birth to all his brothers and him. But at the same time, it's like, no, fucker, she's yours. Trust and believe me. If I know now, if I knew then what I know now, oh, you wouldn't be none of their dads. How about that? But since you want to be a bitter bitch and come for me and my baby, the cold part is you are being a bully. She's a child. Okay, let's just for kicks, let's say she's not his, or there's some merit to it or truth to it. Why are you addressing her? She didn't have nothing to do with it. She fucking didn't even ask to be here. But here you are making these slick slide comments to my child, posing it as a quote unquote joke. There ain't shit funny about that. Not today, not yesterday, not back in 2015, not in 2020 when you first started telling her that, during COVID when she was over with you all weekly because she wanted to spend time with you all, her dad and her family. So you decide to look at our child in her face and say, I don't think you're my daughter. I want a DNA test. Meanwhile, nobody's saying anything to me, the adult, but you're saying it to the child. You're a fucking bully. And it's okay for you to bully her because she's a child. What is she going to say? Now, you have been planting seeds in this kid's head, in all of their heads, trying to turn them against me because I no longer want to be married to you because you're a narcissist and you're a serial cheater and you have had 6 other children that I didn't carry. But you're mad at me because I finally stood up for myself and I said enough is enough. And I did you a favor. You don't have to worry about me questioning you no more. You get to go sow your royal oats all around LA County, San Bernardino County, and be with whomever it is you want to be with. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I genuinely don't care. I want you to be the best version of you. But what we're not going to do is mistreat our children in the midst of this because you're mad at me. Come to me. Come talk to me. Because far as I'm concerned, you can't fight me. You're not going to argue with me. Cool. If you needed a DNA test, you could have got that. But you bring it to our child, and she's, out of all of our girls, she's the most quiet. So fast forward, this comes up, and she tells me, and her feelings are genuinely hurt. So, the first 2 times she brings it up, I don't say nothing. I'm thinking to myself, he's trying to bait me into an argument or whatever. So only thing I can do is give her as much reassurance as possible. Like, that's not true. I would never do that. And if your dad ever wanted a DNA test, I wouldn't have never gotten upset. I would have been like, I know the fuck you not. Like, okay, you got me fucked up. But at the same time, I would have been like, because I know what the truth is, I want you to have one. So I could just look at you and your whole stupidity. You can get it now. I want you to get one. So, I listened to her. I didn't say anything. But the other day when he said it and she and I discussed it, I said, how do you feel? She said, how would you feel if somebody said that to you over and over and over again? Not too hot. And I ride for my daddy. I swear I have the best father in the entire world. Felix Jolivet Sr. was the best dad ever. And I'm sure, like me, most of y'all got great dads. I had an awesome dad. So all I could think of, if my dad said that to me, like, he wouldn't even have he wouldn't do that. He would take it to my mother. And that's what we're dealing with here. We're not dealing with grown-ups. We're dealing with an immature 4-year-old. Because why would you do that? So, you know, I was talking to my husband about the whole situation, and he was like, I don't think you should say anything, because I had wrote a brilliant text message. It was fire, and I was gonna launch that bitch. But the other girls are over there this weekend, and I said, you know what? He tends to, when he's mad at me, he gets drunk and takes it out on them. So, you know what? I'm not gonna do that to them. So this morning, um, I'm talking to my husband. We're chatting, and he goes, you know what? I'll call you back for whatever reason. So in that moment, I said, you know what? Let me just call this fucker, because I'm so angry. He needs to, like, a text message isn't going to do. So I called him. He answers the phone, which, by the way, let me tell you, in the ex-husbands can be bitter baby mama saga, in all the however many years of knowing this individual, our oldest 24, in all the 23 years I've known this person, 15 of them, he never answered the phone for me. So the fact that when I call him, he answers, it's like pigs are flying. Hell has frozen over. I'm shocked, because any other day, I couldn't get him on the phone. And that was when we were married. So the fact that we're not married and I don't need you for nothing, and I'm calling you and you answer, is mind-boggling. Like, what in the fuck is this? Like, you ain't never answered the phone. But whatever. He answers, and so I said, check this out. I have something I need to say to you, and you can take it however you need to take it, and once I'm done talking, you can tell me how you feel. But why you keep telling her you want a DNA test, she's not yours. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Playboy, you could have got that in 2015 when we went to court, when we were at mediation. Fuck that shit. When I had her, if you felt that way, you could have got a DNA test. I said, you've never said anything. We've joked about things like that or whatever, and you wanted it so badly to happen because of the shit that you did, but you never were sincere and concrete, at least to me. Because if you had, I would have given you one. And I said to him, I don't have none to hide. I'm not guilty of nothing. I said, if you want, I could take both you and her right now. You want to pull up to the house, hop in the car. I said, and I'll take both of you down the street. We get it done. And I'm going to sit in the lobby, because I can't wait to see the look on your face when they tell you, oh, motherfucker, 99.9% yours. So do you need that? And he was like, no, I was joking with her. Now, usually when he gets super defensive, he's like, oh my God, I was joking. Da, da, da. He didn't do none of that. He was very calm. He was like, I was joking with her. And I said, well, let me explain something to you. You're causing damage. You're causing damage that you can't undo. So I don't know what it is you're trying to do to her, whether you think it's a joke or not. Everybody can't joke like that. And you probably need to stop. And then he responded, I'm a caller. And I said, unless you plan on having that call accompanied by an apology, don't. Just stop saying it. And I said, but if you truly feel that way, that's fine. And you are entitled to feel how you feel. But we could get that rectified right now. So he responds, no, Ariane, I don't think that. Like, I know those are my kids, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, well, unfortunately to her, you seem pretty convincing. You're hurting her. I said, you're being a fucking bully. And he was like, well, we joke and we be playing. Okay. If she slip and fall and it's funny and everybody laughing, okay, we could run that joke. But I want a DNA test. And then the first time he said it to her, well, come to find out, he had been saying it to her all of COVID. So that was 5 years ago. She's barely 17. So she's all of 10, 11. When she brought it up to me a few months ago, he had said to her, yeah, I'm gonna get a DNA test for you because I don't think you're mine, because your mom had you in Baldwin Park. Your dad must be Mexican. Like, what? Like, are you insane? Okay. And then she responds, what? And he was like, well, if it comes out that I'm not your dad, are you gonna still spend time with me? And she was like, no, I'm gonna go find my real dad. Like, what did you want this child to say to you? Yeah, she's 16, 17, but she's still a child. What did you think you were going to get from her when she said that? She's better than me, because had my father even said that to me, I would have been so heartbroken, and I probably would have spit on his grave. Like, that's how mad I get. But my father would never, because he's a mature man, and God rest his soul, he's passed. So, I said to him, well, if you don't believe that, just stop saying it, because it's not funny. And whatever joke, I don't know where the punchline is, but it ain't okay at all. So you really need to stop. So he responds again, I'm a caller. And I said again, if you're not having an apology accompanied with that, just don't. We hang up. So I call my husband back, and I explained to him, like, yeah, I just spoke with him, and I told him, how I felt. I said it wasn't an arguing match or anything like that. I said, he said he was going to call her. They were joking, etc. But, my husband is kind of baffled, because he's just like, I don't get it. And I'm like, the hell, I don't get it. I said, but the cold part is about all this. He has been trying for years since we divorced. It's been 10 years. He's been trying for 10 years to sow seeds of discourse, of hate, of hurt, of harm to my children in regards to me. And it took root for a little while with one of them. The one, in fact, that he said he wanted a DNA test. And I told my husband, I said, Ken, you know what the fucked up part about this is? 5 years ago, she's already feeling the way she's feeling. She, out of all of the girls, took the divorce the hardest. It was hard for everybody, but she took it the hardest. And you're saying this to her, but the cold part is about it all. It's like, you're sowing these seeds, and imagine what she's thinking in her head, like, okay, great, this bitch then cheated on him. That's not even my dad, or he doesn't think that he's my dad, and he's taking it out on me. You know how kids are, like, what they're thinking. And I said to Ken, he thinks he's working overtime to destroy his relationship with me when it comes to them, when he's really destroying his relationship with them. So he was working nonstop, like the devil does. The devil works hard, but my God always works harder. And for a moment in time, you were doing your best to destroy me with our daughters, just like a fucking typical bitter ass, bitch ass baby mama. When I've done nothing to you, I didn't put you on child support. I said to him, when we're having mediation, and the mediator was like, well, we have to discuss child support. I said, I don't want to do that. I said, these are our children. I believe he and I can come up with something. I even suggested to him at one point, I said, I don't even want no fucking money. Can you just buy their groceries? Can you bring groceries over every 2 weeks? I'll give you a list. I don't eat the same foods as them. Just do that. I'm carrying them on my insurance. He didn't even want to do that. You know what he said to me? He said, in atypical bitter ass baby mama fashion, oh, well, if you can't afford their groceries, maybe we need to get back together. I'm not fucking behind no groceries. Like, are you sick? Like, no, we're fine. But it's the audacity of you sowing seeds of evil, hurt, trying to turn kids against you. I would never do that. You're still their dad. And he swears I hate him because I don't talk to him. And I said to him, I've been forgiving you. I've been moved on. I don't hate you, but I don't have to talk. Like, other than me saying hello to you, like, there's nothing for us to discuss. And I don't have to. I don't know why you think you and I have to be buddy-buddy. It's enough for us to just be cordial. I'm cool with that. And He doesn't understand. He was like, well, you hate me. I'm like, I actually don't, because if I hated you, I would be trying to turn these girls against you. But you, sir, hate me. But the problem is you really hate yourself. You hate yourself so much, and you're mad at me because I stood up for myself. So you then try and turn our children against me. I would never do that to you. And what is baffling about all this, you see these bitches all day long who are bitter because they had a baby with a man they weren't with for 5 minutes. It just is what it is. But for whatever reason, when it comes to the children we have together, he has this sense of entitlement or ownership over them. He acts like this, and he acts out like a toddler. In turn, instead of you going to therapy, getting the help, being accountable for the part you played in everything, and just taking it for what it is, and then just be good. It's not too late. You have all the time in the world to be a better human being. And you sit and you choose to do this to our daughter, who is a straight up, or was a daddy's girl. And now the thing is about children. And let me talk to you bitter bitches for a minute. The ones who have these babies and who have good baby fathers. I really wish upon you, you get my ex-husband, because you need a dose of your own energy. You hoes have these kids and they have dads, and their dads want to be an integral part of their kid's life, but you're so mad and you're so bitter. So you stop that, because it's kind of like we're a package deal. No, bitch, he just wants a baby. He didn't even marry you. And you do this. Like, what is your malfunction? Do you not understand that you are tearing that child up? And for the most part, you're probably doing it because you didn't have a dad. Because if you had a father, there's no way you would, especially a man that wants to be involved with his baby, there's no way you would interfere with that. And if you do, you need to be checked. It is disturbing when you think about it. And now more than ever in America, we have all these women, they're having these babies, men and women. But the problem is now people like to think like, oh, for every single woman or single baby mama, there's a single baby daddy. No, there are a handful of bitches procreating with one guy, and you're mad because you didn't do your due diligence when you slept with this person and you thought a baby was going to keep them. We all think that, especially when we're young and dumb. We all think a baby is going to keep a man, because we all think, well, I can't go nowhere. It's my baby. I'm attached to it. Like, I'm not going to leave my child. But men are quite different. Most men who ain't shit ain't sticking around. And then the men that are good men and want to have a very loving and close relationship with their child, understand, me and you don't have to be together to make this happen, but you're so bitter and you want to destroy that child and come up with things and statements and say, don't forget what mommy told you when the baby's being dropped off or picked up. Bitch, what did you tell the baby about his daddy? Oh, I don't get in between things with my kids and their fathers. What do you mean you don't get in the middle of your kids and their dads when the dad is reaching out trying to figure out what's going on with his daughter, and you very much well can probably fix it? That's something that is amazing about women. We have a woman who is God-centered and isn't bitter, hurt, or upset. We have the amazing ability to, in a situation where things aren't the best for us and we're not thriving at 100% and probably not at our happiest, we still have a way to be selfless and put our children first. And I always say to them, even now, that is your dad. God forbid something happens to me, you still need your dad. Dads are important, they're precious, and they should be treated as such. And I feel bad for the children who have to go through life with ain't shit ass fathers and ain't shit ass mamas who could have chose better. And I told that to my husband this morning. I said, you know what? But that's what I get. because the wages of sin are death. Because I chose to have children out of wedlock first. I did everything ass backwards, and I had babies with somebody and who they could be, and understand that fatherhood is the highest honor any man could have. Even fast forward, I'm not shitting on you. Even today, I'm not shitting on you. But what I did say, you're done. We're not doing this no more. You don't get to do whatever it is you want to do. They're human. They have feelings. But you're doing right exactly what we knew you would do. Back in 2020, when I met my husband, and once I brought him around the girls and they got to know him, and then it was like, okay, this is getting serious. My ex-husband had a conniption fit and was not happy. That moment, he did everything he could to poison my children against the man that I married, and it fucking backfired. You see how God works? Here it is, you plotting on me, and you plotting on the best thing that ever happened to your children because you can't be the man that you're supposed to be. God sent this guy, and he's doing a hell of a good job stepping up. But at the interim,